Minute break?
Sure.
Okay,
no
thank
problem
you.
whatsoever.
Thank you.
Guess I sat in the tractor too many hours in my life. I can sit there all day and not take a break. And they say that's not good on your kidneys when you do that, but
You don't need to, you don't need to.
I'm bad about it. I get so dehydrated. I don't drink water. I can sit in the tractor all day and never drink any water.
Oh, that's not good for you.
And when I go to the hospital and they want to start an IV, they can't find it.
Probably not.
These nurses, if my IV would quit, oh, they hated that. They usually go through about 4 of them before one of them finally could find it.
So are you drinking more water these days? No. I like water. Drink water.
I have to force myself. We apologize. We've got way off of schedule.
No.
today. We've had some issues.
Yes, we understand.
I think we're on the air yet.
Yep, big shutter down.
There's a lot of counties that don't have it on TV.
You know, it just backs up you guys, if for nothing else. If somebody said, well, or even us, you know, if we see something in the newspaper, they look back on that and say, that's not ours. We do try and get it right.
I just think it shows my stupidity.
Doesn't mean you don't, doesn't mean. But there are some things that maybe you shouldn't say. But you should make the meetings interesting.
You know, I can tell the minute I say something wrong because Leslie goes, oh.
You're not as bad as Ronnie Kern, I know, can tell you.
We are still on. Well,
Yeah.
good.
Oh dear.
Okay, we'll call the meeting back to order. Thank you so much for being patient with us. And we're all ready for you, I believe.
Walt Hill.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Terry Riker,
Hi. Good to see you again.
Chris Nichol. We have
Hello.
talked to you before.
Hi.
Yes.
Leslie Vines.
Hi, good to meet you. Are you related to Scotty?
An uncle. Through my
Okay.
husband.
Okay. Missed him. He's on our board from over in Atwood.
I'd say you're not going to hold that against her, are you? I know Scott. He was a county attorney over there for years.
I've known him for a long time over the years. Well, thanks. I know you're a little bit behind schedule, so we'll see if we can get you back on. And understand you've had some issues, as someone has said. So we understand issues. Well, this is our annual report from High Plains to all of the 20 counties that are members of the interlocal agreement that set up High Plains. Do have some extra copies if you want.
I have one. I already read it, yeah. I've got it.
You want to? Let me get one to the.
Sure, yes.
Do you need?
I'm just,
Okay.
frankly,
This is the summary information packet for High Plains and services we've delivered both across our 20 counties and also to Cheyenne County residents during 2017. We continue to see pretty well steady demand for services. Unfortunately, we don't like to see that, but at least people are coming in and seeking help. The front page breaks down income levels for people that are coming in for services. Typically, half of the families have incomes under $25,000, and we utilize the state and county dollars to help provide a sliding fee schedule so that people, so services are more affordable and that we can continue to pay our bills. County funding has been pretty steady over recent years. We don't ask counties. We haven't been asking counties for increase in funding overall. In aggregate, counties are strapped. There are lots of challenges that counties have with their budgets, with valuation and increased requests from the state.
The tax lid.
The tax lid, which puts the counties in a real bind, we understand. So our board has tried to keep a lid on our request for county funding. We're part of, basically, because we're through that interlocal agreement, part of the counties. We feel it's part of our job to try to help the counties out. Now, the state hasn't been helping us, and we continue to see a decline in state funding, though we had a bump up last year. The legislature did. But we're still about $1 million below where we had been for a number of years, each year. For quite some time, we've been making up with patient services through billings to insurance and patients. We've had more of a challenge with that, particularly with the Medicaid managed care companies have really tightened down on what they'll reimburse for, requiring authorizations, not paying us for things that they we believe, for services we've delivered.
Well, according to these poor people that are on here, they're not gonna pay you directly.
No. We were lucky if we see, $10. And here in Cheyenne County, we saw some increase last year in the numbers served, up to 86. And let me see if I can find that sheet. We delivered $111,000 in services. We have some data on the number of individuals seen here in the county at the hospital, and last year there were 33. So 33 of those 86 were actually seen here in town, rather than them having to travel out of the county. And so the utilization of that office has continued to
Obviously
be
it's paying off.
nearly,
how many were new?
21,
That's
so.
a pretty high percentage compared to
Yeah.
other counties.
Right, that is.
What do you attribute the increase to? Referrals or?
Increase in access. Probably.
Probably.
This is still a pretty young office. We've only had it open, 3 years, 4 years?
Just word of mouth? It's
Yeah, when you have recent acquisition of that access, you definitely see some climbing for a few years.
And I think we've
Which is
tried to
good.
get word out to, within the medical community that we're present, being available there in the medical setting, I think helps with getting the referrals.
With the recent remodel of the hospital basement, do you have?
I don't know where we're at
Where they're
over
at.
there.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't.
I just wonder if it affected.
I don't know. Something that we did do over the course of last year, we were just visiting with the sheriff and double checked. I know when we were here last year, he identified, or others identified, the need for a video conference unit here at the sheriff's office. There's one over at the hospital, but sometimes that gets backed up or they have other uses for it. So we had worked with him. In fact, last year we went up, looked at the space, and confirmed with him today we got one installed there, and he said it's working out well too.
What we've customarily done with that is we offer it to the sheriff's department first, and if they don't have space or they don't want it, then we'll put it in the hospital. And so since you moved the sheriff's department and they have the room, he came back and said we could really use one of these in the sheriff's department, so we got that set up
Well,
last year.
usually they're part of the first contact anyway.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, if the person could be seen in the sheriff's office as opposed to hospital, that helps because you don't have to go through all of the issues that you have to with, hitting hospital property and EMTALA and all of those issues that come into play. So we just, we were visiting with him. He seemed very pleased with that.
Good.
It's been probably a couple of months now since we sent out the letter with our county funding benchmark for next year. Okay. Every year we take the total county funding, and again, that's steady across all 20 counties, and then divide it up based on 6 factors: population, utilization, valuation, whether you have an office in the county, and then arrive at these benchmarks. So it gives counties some sense of where to target their funding as the fair share. Before we had this, counties would say, well, what should we be funding, or Ellis County should be funding more, or our county shouldn't be having to fund as much. But this puts some figures to it. I know last year we believe the hospital had some grant funds to help with the funding for mental health. I don't know. I've not heard from them that they have those funds again, but so we had the county had picked up the Cheyenne County funding last year, I believe.
Excuse me, we split that.
Split it? Okay.
Hospital pays half, we do half.
Okay. So we've not heard from them where they're at with
I
that.
assume they're still going to float.
If you, the total for the county, the benchmark for 2019 for your budgeting purposes is 18,022. I'll stop there. If you have any questions or anything I can answer.
Just sounds like we need to touch base with the hospital and make sure that
Right.
they're willing to do that again.
Yeah, I know some of those were some federal funds that they had through a grant, and I just don't know
I
what
think
the
it's-
status is.
Always been set up that way, it's just that one year that it was cut at the county, and they picked up all of it.
Okay. Well, the money all looks the same to us, but we know it's a local issue that,
And of course, we'll start looking at budgets May,
Right.
June, July,
right,
so.
right. We, one thing I do want to mention is we really appreciate your board membership representation from Cheyenne County to High Plains. Both of those ladies are very good participants.
Very adamant, very passionate about what they're doing.
They are, and I know Carol probably call me, neither one of them could be here today, but she'll probably call and say, so I need to go visit with any of those guys. But they,
Well, I
They're
remember after we went ahead and included you in the budget last year, Mrs. Burr come, and she was prepared for a fight. I mean, she was going to jump down our throats until we told her we'd already funded it.
well, you know how stories get.
Yeah, she was mad. She had a speech to give us, and she was mad she didn't get it.
Well, that's just as well, I guess. Well, thank you very much.
All right,
we
thank you,
appreciate your support and funding. If there's anything we can do, or if we need to come back and talk about anything in particular, let us know.
Well,
But,
we're looking forward to supporting your cause too, so.
We do want to mention briefly, there's a few
Yeah.
other things that we kind of do just since you're part of our catchment area. Mental health first aid trainings. We've done one up here in the last couple of years, but we're probably due to do something again. Kind of helps people understand when someone's experiencing a mental health problem and prepares them to help in a crisis. The other thing is critical incident stress management debriefings, and so that's if there's a tragedy in the community. We were actually just talking to the sheriff about possibly getting one of those set up.
I think that's an excellent idea. I spent 30 years in law enforcement, and you've got to have it.
Right.
I mean,
And so that's something, if we try to keep in touch with board members and the locals to make sure that we're not missing anything. But if there's something that you feel is important, that you would like somebody to come up here, give us a call, and we'll work something out.
Per incident. I mean,
Per incident, yeah.
Per incident, and we just touch base on
I
it.
think you can tell they got mental health issues if you just ask them one question. Have you ever run for county commissioner?
It's a thankless job. I appreciate your
Well,
service.
if you can coordinate those kind of things with Ryan, Ryan
Yes,
does a really
right,
good job, and
right,
and,
right.
and
Right.
yeah, I think it's nothing but good.
Good. Well, best of luck with your budgeting and all the challenges that get put on your plate. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Bird City Law Agreement. And I've read that, haven't you? The new agreement with Bird City.
Memorandum of
Oh, yeah.
Understanding with Bird City.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Let you guys look at it.
It's the same as it has been.
There was a couple of changes in there.
So
I think
what
they
we
took out,
budgeted about 9,000.
Well, it's around
or is
eight.
it was eight
They're
something last
asking
year.
for a little bit of an increase there.
They're wanting $600 more next year.
Seems like it's 87.
Yeah. Find my budget, I can tell you.
Kevin needs to.
Ready for me to sit down?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask for 10 minutes of executive session to discuss investigative stuff.
Advice of counsel?
What's that?
Advice of
of
Right,
counsel?
there you go. That'd be the proper one.
Okay, do I hear a motion to? All those in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
Don't answer the phone. She's transferring somebody to the phone, but don't answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Apparently you don't want to talk to them.